The story kicks off a decade ago, the exact moment a sketchy fog just randomly popped up all over the planet. An endless swarm of terrifying beasts was hiding inside, just waiting for the right moment to strike. Showing absolutely zero mercy, these things started wiping out the human race. The destruction in the cities was massive, and panic spread everywhere like wildfire. Not even the most high-tech military gear of that era was any use. The whole human tech arsenal turned out to be totally useless against this threat. To make matters worse, regular folks who stayed exposed to the mist ended up turning into stone until they passed away. If they didn't put a lid on that situation ASAP, it was gonna spread until it swallowed the entire globe. But hey, right in the middle of this doomsday vibe, class awakeners who got divine blessings showed up. Fighters with bows, sword warriors, and magic users packing insane powers became the only ones actually able to throw down. They'd grind in underground dungeons and face the fog, which only cleared up when the beasts were taken down. So, these elite soldiers quickly became humanity's last hope for survival. Right in the middle of the city's chaos, a squad is trying their hardest to drop a massive dog-like monster before things get totally out of hand. Just then, a young guy takes a head-on hit and gets launched violently backward. Grabbing that chance, the rest of the crew charges up their ultimate moves to finish the target. The combo attack hits the monster dead center, causing a massive shockwave. Having won the fight, the members chill and mention how using the fighter as bait worked like a charm. They look at their buddy passed out on the ground, and just walk away without caring, claiming that acting as a meat shield is literally his job. Inside the quiet alley, the only thing you can hear is the sound of water dripping. Going through serious agony all over his body, the beat-up kid finally manages to twitch his fingers on the wet ground. He snaps awake, taking a huge breath and looking totally lost about what just went down. Our hero sits on the floor, zero clue what's going on, remembering that he was just working major overtime at his job. Looking at his own hands, he realizes, totally shook, that this face and body aren't even his. Suddenly, a massive headache hits him while he tries to process the scene. A ton of brand new memories about this universe flood his brain, unlocking the backstory of this body. Connecting the dots, he instantly realizes he got a Zeke hide into this world, and is now a class wielder. He remembers the last fight and figures out the previous owner of this body got used and dumped by his own squad. Super disappointed, he complains that people who get reincarnated usually get major perks, while he just turned into a useless human shield. But then, a mysterious glow flashing right in front of him catches his eye. A screen pop-up shows a prize roulette system booting up, leaving him totally mind-blown. The kid stares at the screen in awe and mentions he had absolutely no idea power like this even existed. Hyped up, he realizes he's gonna level up way faster than anyone else, turning his reincarnation into the ultimate cheat code. Without wasting a single second, he picks out a weapon and a piece of armor of the absolute highest tiers, stuff that's basically impossible to find. The system locks in his crazy choices and hands over the rare gear instantly. An epic sword just spawns out of nowhere, giving off this insane mystical vibe. Gripping the weapon, the MC celebrates bagging something so OP right off the bat. He guarantees that from now on, he's totally ready to run higher level dungeons, and will never stop grinding his stats. Stepping out of that alley, he realizes he needs to adapt fast to the risks of this new environment. Walking down the street, the guy accepts that the only way to stay breathing is to fight as a soldier. Focused, he promises himself he'll climb to the absolute top spot, making the most of his new hacks. Already chilling on a bus seat, he notices that, aside from the monsters, the city looks exactly like his hometown. Trying to get his thoughts straight, he decides to head home to gather some intel before making any moves. But on the way, a sketchy fog suddenly rolls over the road out of nowhere. The bus is forced to slam the brakes as the paranormal event quickly takes over the streets. Panic infects the passengers and the kid stands up, totally stressed, cursing his terrible luck for being there right at that moment. Knowing regular people stand zero chance against this, he decides to step up immediately to try and keep everyone safe. Trying to handle the chaos, he tells everyone loud and clear to chill out and stay in their seats. He yells at the driver to floor it so they can bust out of the fog, but an ear-piercing screech from outside suddenly grabs his attention. A brutal strike tears right through the metal frame of the bus in a split second. With the ride totally totaled, the civilians completely lose hope of making it out in one piece. They curse their bad luck, figuring there's zero chance an OP fighter is nearby to save them. Going completely against the doom and gloom, our hero starts walking through the wreckage, looking like a total boss. He tells the terrified crowd that he's a class wielder and promises he'll handle the mess. An old man literally cries tears of relief, asking if the fighter can hold the beasts off for a bit. Stoked to test out his new toys, the kid tells everyone to hang tight until the rescue squad shows up. Meanwhile, some guy grabs his clothes in a total panic, but instantly loses all hope when he finds out the MC is only level 1. The shock from that brutally honest answer leaves the guy frozen in pure disappointment. Mad as hell, the dude insults the kid, calling him garbage, claiming his class is trash, and that they're all gonna meet their maker. Staying totally unbothered by the drama, the MC just thinks to himself how his job is the most hated one around here. Ignoring the whiny complaints, he just triggers his combat state, giving off some serious heavy hitter energy. The super rare armed guard he picked out equips itself on his arm right then and there. Ready to throw down, he drops into a stance with some serious swagger. The monster that caused the crash finally steps out of the fog, looking like a massive, terrifying nightmare. Summoning his sword, he figures his crazy gear easily makes up for his low level. The warrior focuses all his power, feeling like he's got way more than enough juice to take this thing on. Moving with crazy speed, he charges the target with a single straight jump. Without giving it a chance to breathe, he drops an absolute hammer of a downward strike on the monster. The raw power of the attack ends the fight instantly, splitting the enemy right down the middle. Landing on his feet, he notes that even with a trash class, his loot totally fixes the problem. The kid cracks a little smirk, knowing he'll hit the top ranks if he keeps this up. But the area is still a hot zone, and pretty soon, he's rushing toward another giant monster that just spawned. With a flashy, flawless move, the fighter runs the enemy straight through, without even breaking a sweat. Watching all this, the civilians are shook, wondering if his class was always this OP. With the area clear and the crowd cheering him on, he puts the blade away, itching for the system to hand over his loot. The guy just turns around and dips, leaving the wrecked monster behind. Right after, a woman checks out the beast's remains, mind blown that a level 2 monster got taken out in one hit. While the cops lock down the scene, the crowd keeps wondering who the mystery guy was that handled the threat so fast. One of the dudes smiles and says it was a level 1 warrior, but the kid was already long gone, thinking it over. The woman figures the mystery fighter definitely has some kind of insanely rare special gear. Rolling up to a beat-up apartment building around sunset, our hero realizes this dump is his new home. He climbs the busted stairs, judging the peeling hallway paint as an absolute tragedy. But the peace and quiet gets ruined when this beefy debt collector shows up mocking him, saying he figured the kid had made a run for it. Checking the old body owner's memory files, the kid realizes this dude racked up a massive debt before checking out. It's pretty obvious the poor guy blew all his cash trying to get a top-tier class, leaving the MC to clean up the mess. Not intimidated at all, he reminds the collector that the original deal gave him 3 more days to pay up. The loan shark grabs the kid's shirt tight, laughing that the tab is 5 million and there's no way he could pay it even with 30 days. Keeping his cool, the MC promises he'll be back with the cash right on time. Inside his pitch-black room, he sighs in disappointment, knowing that grinding that much cash in such a short time is absolute madness. Just then, the phone he left on the floor starts blinking out of nowhere. The screen shows an online forum offering quick cash for rare weapons and recruiting players for guilds. Scrolling through the posts, he realizes he can use his prize system to grab a high-tier weapon and flip it. Dialed in, the kid stands up and decides he won't let some stupid debt stop his grind to the top of this world. Chilling on the bed, he jogs his memory and remembers there are regular dungeons perfectly meant for leveling up. Bone in hand, he figures the smartest play right now is to focus on grinding his stats and farming loot. But when he checks the market prices, he sees that drops from level 1 dungeons sell for basically nothing. The app shows that even the most hyped weapons cap out at around 700,000 credits. Annoyed at the math, he realizes running just 1 dungeon a day won't get him 5 million in time. But then, remembering how easily he folded those giant monsters totally flips his perspective. Hyped, he's totally confident his rare gear can easily carry him through level 3 challenges without breaking a sweat. He pockets his phone with a quick swipe. Leaving the crib later that night, he decides he'll hit up the system the next day, to pay everything off in one go. Morning hits. Lighting up the run. Down buildings in the outer district where he's supposed to run his mission. It's obvious everyone prefers the downtown area since the soldiers clear out the fog there, keeping things super safe. As he gets further away from the city limits, a totally busted sign warns that the danger level spikes big time from there on out. Walking down a sketchy, unlit alley, the hero figures the loot drops must be way better out in these parts. He stops right in front of a glowing blue portal, which means it's a level 2 entrance. Catching the kid off guard, that same cowardly squad from before pops up, asking if he wants to join their party since they need a tank. Remembering these shady guys almost got him sent to the lobby yesterday, he shoots them down instantly. The party leader gives this fake, awkward laugh, saying a useless fighter like him should be washing dishes instead. The girl in the group joins in on the roast, calling his class pure garbage and asking if he's lost his mind trying to run a level 3. Brushing off the trash talk, the guy privately agrees that the original owner of this body had a seriously rough life. But now, the whole game has changed thanks to his personal cheat system. Another squad member chimes in with the taunts, asking if he blew all his money on a class license, and now has to hustle to pay off debt. The MC just hits them with a totally cold, unbothered stare. Keeping his voice super level, he tells them that getting payback for ditching him would honestly just be a waste of his time. The cowards are totally thrown off by how blunt and unexpected his answer is. While watching the fighter walk away, the trio debates if he actually knew he was being used as bait, but figure it doesn't even matter. Leaving the losers in the dust, the kid walks up to a massive portal giving off some heavy energy at the end of the street. The system interface pops up, warning him that this spot is a level 3 stronghold, asking if he's sure he wants to start the run. With zero other options to fix his money problems, he steps right into the rift like a boss. A bright flash of energy wraps around his body, as he gets teleported straight into the dungeon. The scenery around him changes in a split second with a burst of mystic power. As soon as his vision clears up, a system notification tells him to clear out the outlaws from some ancient fortress. Scoping out the area from behind a rock, he spots armed fighters patrolling the village. Curious, the kid notes that this place literally looks like a whole different universe, way different from the city fog. His memories explain that every dungeon has its own lore and specific quests to unlock the loot. Suddenly, some other players pop up in the room, guessing the MC must be experienced since he's in a level 3 zone. The guy with an eye patch, who seems to be calling the shots, tells everyone to announce their levels and classes. The squad introduces themselves: 2 shooters, 1 stealth rogue, and a healer, all sitting at level 3. Introducing himself as a level 1 warrior, the MC points out that him tagging along gives the party the perfect balance. The guys in the squad are absolutely stunned, asking if he's trying to catch an early game over by walking into a place like this with such low stats. Mad as hell, the healer yells that team comp is everything and a low-level meat shield is completely useless. But the leader shuts down the drama as soon as he spots the kid's high-end weapon. Assuming the newbie is just some rich kid playing around as a rover, the boss decides to give him a shot purely because of his expensive gear. The MC finds the assumption hilarious, thinking to himself that if he actually had cash, he wouldn't be out here risking his neck to pay off loans. Setting up the play, the boss says the rogue will scout while the warrior acts as the tank during the fight. As a bonus, he promises the healer will keep the kid's HP topped off during the brawls. The MC rejects the plan on the spot, making it crystal clear he refuses to rush in blindly and won't be playing frontline dummy. He knows full well the previous owner of this body took an L doing exactly that, and he only has 1 life here. The rogue gets super salty about the rejection, sarcastically asking if the rookie expects the snipers to go in for close combat. Not backing down, the kid warns that he won't play the role of a useless knight, and tells the healer not to cry if she ends up catching some damage. The tense standoff gets interrupted by a loud crash coming from the village gates. One of the locals comes running at them in a total panic, begging for help against the bandits. The system starts a 10-second countdown as a massive wave of angry enemies charges down the hill. The squad quickly spreads out across the plaza, getting their weapons ready for the upcoming clash. One of the shooters aims his handgun, complaining that these level 3 outlaws aren't going to be easy to drop. The enemies rush in hard, dodging the bullets with some seriously crazy agility. Watching everything calmly, the MC thinks to himself that their reaction time is about on par with the fog beasts. Feeling the pressure, the leader screams for everyone to fire at once to cut off their escape routes. The barrage of bullets hits the bandits dead on, flattening their front line in a flash. Checking the situation, the MC realizes the enemies are fast, but their defense is actually super squishy. Just then, one of the outlaws lunges straight at the party's healer, who's scrambling to cast a shield spell. Terrified of the blade coming right at her, she screams for someone to save her. Without wasting a second, the kid steps up and blocks the heavy strike, using his super rare sword. Sparks fly as the weapons clash, proving just how much raw, insane power was behind the enemy's attack. But the hero doesn't budge an inch, pushing the thug back with almost zero effort. Feeling the weight of that block, the bandit steps back, totally stunned by how strong this guy actually is. He starts sweating bullets, realizing he severely underestimated the kid, who just looked like a fragile noob. Taking advantage of the opening, the MC delivers a lightning, fast slash, and folds the enemy in the blink of an eye. From a distance, the eye patch leader is actually impressed by the power of that fancy sword in action. But he quickly notices that the warrior just got surrounded by a whole group of bandits in the middle of the plaza. Completely unfazed by the odds, the guy raises his blade and tells them all to rush him at once so they can speedrun this. Out of nowhere, the terrifying sound of a gun being cocked echoes right behind him. Startled by the sudden noise, the warrior's eyes go wide as he senses the immediate danger. Confused as hell, the MC turns his head to figure out what's going on. A bunch of shots was right past him, hitting the bandits that were crowding him. To the kid's shock, his own squad members are blasting away right in his direction without a care in the world. He realizes, totally appalled, that the shooters are purposely aiming right at him in the middle of the chaos. The squad leader cracks a dirty smirk, making it super obvious that this wasn't just some friendly fire accident. A hail of bullets hits the kid point blank, triggering the system warning that his shield took damage. Sweet and cold, he figures he would have been totally wiped out if he didn't have his top-tier armor. Blocking the rest of the shots with his sword, he furiously demands to know what these cowards are actually trying to pull. The shooter just mocks him, blaming the kid for standing in the line of fire and accusing him of teaming up with the bandits. Before the argument can get any worse, a massive earthquake suddenly shakes the entire fortress. Ignoring their garbage excuse, the MC points his blade, stating clearly that they don't give a single damn about their own team. With an icy glare, he promises to make these backstabbers feel exactly what it's like to be used as bait. Right at that exact moment, a gigantic iron sphere drops from the sky and smashes into the ground with insane force. The dust clears to reveal a massive, chained-up figure walking right out of the thick smoke. The system quickly gives a heads up that the dungeon boss has just spawned, looking incredibly menacing. The terrifying aura of the beast makes the squad back up, with the boss stuttering for everyone to attack right now. Using their skills, the shooters pop their speed and accuracy buffs, trying to pin the monster down. Countless glowing bullets hit the dungeon boss's chest in rapid fire, but the giant beast barely even flinches, glaring at the attackers with pure, unfiltered rage. Watching from the sidelines, the kid realizes things just got super sketchy for those cowards. With an insane burst of speed, the boss literally launches its massive body into the air. It flies through the sky like a meteor, aiming directly at the shooters who ticked it off from afar. The impact when it hits the ground is devastating, sending one of the backstabbers flying. The healer curses out her team, warning them that randomly aggroing it just made the thing even more furious. Now, this massive wall of muscle is standing right in front of the injured shooter, ready to end it all. The monster revs up a crushing attack and charges hard, making the guy scream for his life. Panicking, the leader orders the MC to grab the boss's aggro immediately. Flashing a sarcastic smirk, the hero knows they just want to use him as a meat shield again, but promises he's about to flip the script. The traitor instantly smiles in relief, thinking the dumb rookie actually agreed to the insane order. After rotating, the warrior dashes toward the danger and lands a hyper-fast strike on the giant's shoulder. Sliding back from the impact, the kid realizes that not even his ultra-rare weapon managed to leave a scratch on the boss's tough skin. He quickly figures there's got to be some kind of trick or weak spot to take this walking tank down. From a distance, the leader yells at him to hold the creature back, completely missing the fact that the kid is already running straight toward them. The giant chases the warrior with pure ferocity, winding up a punch packed with serious power. An explosive strike hits the floor right behind the MC, kicking up a huge cloud of dust and rocks. The shockwave catches the leader totally off guard, blasting the snake backward. With the chaos in full swing, the system drops an alert saying the boss has officially changed targets. The beast totally ignores the kid and charges at the down shooter with terrifying speed. The coward barely manages to dodge a crushing stomp that completely shatters the stone floor of the plaza. Meanwhile, the MC intentionally attacks the beast's leg, pulling its attention right back to him. Rocking a confident smirk, the guy announces he's going to kite the danger exactly to where his fake teammates are hiding. Panicking, the shooter begs him to stay away, suddenly acting like they're some tight-knit squad. But the hero completely ignores the bad acting and leads the monster's attacks directly into the center of the coward's formation. Using perfectly timed jumps, he makes the beast smash everything right next to the shooters as they scramble to get away. The boss keeps wildly destroying the area, causing absolute panic among the traitorous party members. Failing to dodge in time, one of the teammates gets caught in the blast and gets sent flying. The leader drops to his knees, totally battered, trembling in fear as he realizes the monster is locked right onto him. Smooth as ice, the MC just elegantly sidesteps the chaos while the beast keeps wrecking the place. Realizing they got played, the traitor screams in anger, blaming the rookie for pulling this massive troll move. Looking over his shoulder, the hero sarcastically asks if they finally appreciate someone putting their neck on the line for the squad. Completely losing it, the healer and the last guy run around like headless chickens, screaming for someone to save them. The girl reaches out, begging for the massive monster to stay as far away from her as possible. In a move of pure desperation, she activates a level 3 magic scroll to try and trap the enemy. The MC catches a glimpse of the intense magical blow booting up right in the middle of the battlefield. A purple force cage pops out of nowhere, locking the dungeon boss and the squad leader inside. Banging on the magic barrier, the shooter screams his lungs out, begging his own teammates to let him out. But the massive, terrifying shadow of the monster slowly turns toward the trapped guy. Swatting cold and crying tears of pure terror, the coward begs for a timeout while utter despair takes over his face. The traitor's eyes go wide at his incoming doom, realizing there is zero way out of that light cage. The creature finally drops a brutal attack, and the system coldly announces that the player didn't make it. Watching the tragic scene, the healer shakes, saying she only wanted to teach the kid a lesson. She cries about not realizing her teammates were toxic enough to betray their own squad. The MC doesn't give a single care about her drama. He just calmly figures that the only thing that matters right now is focusing on dropping this giant. Right then, the rogue jumps out of hiding, asking if the hero still really wants to fight. The kid just gives a confident reply, saying he already figured out how to secure the win. Pulling his weapon out like a total boss, the warrior keeps his fearless stance. He makes it clear that the only way to find out what happens is to face it head on. Inside the magic cage, the furious monster has its eyes glued to the kid. The system gives a quick warning that the trap is gonna vanish in just 5 seconds. With the clock ticking down fast, the guy studies the enemy's insane defense. He notes that the thing 8 bullets and hits from top-tier weapons without even getting a scratch. The timer drops to 3 seconds. The dungeon boss looks absolutely lethal, getting ready to burst out of its energy prison. With barely 2 seconds left, the beast strains against the trap with insane rage. Keeping his focus sharp, the hero gets into position, ready for the impact. In the final second, the MC digs into his memories for any lore on this place. He quickly guesses there's gotta be some weird weak point he can exploit. As soon as the counter hits 0, the magic barrier shatters into a million pieces. The massive wall of muscle is finally free and ready to crush its target. Taking full advantage of the exact second it breaks out, the kid dashes like lightning. His crazy speed kicks up dust all over the stone plaza. In a terrifying clash, the giant creature charges forward, tearing up the scenery, but the soldier smoothly slides right under the devastating attack. With pinpoint accuracy, he lands a clean hit right on the back of the monster's knee joint. The strike catches the beast totally off guard, feeling its weak spot take a direct hit. The giant loses its balance instantly. The hero wraps up the finishing move like a pro as the boss goes down, keeping it stylish. The kid hits a victory pose with his blade. The system immediately pops up, saying he successfully defeated the area boss. Right after the fatal hit, the creature's massive body starts glitching out and dissolving into thin air. All the monster's energy turns into glowing pixels drifting across the zone. The system chimes in that the soldier just leveled up to level 2, handing over some sweet rewards. Hyped about the outcome, he mentions that he actually clutched the fight against the beast. Thinking back on the brawl, he confirms that unbeatable defenses don't really matter. Hitting the weak point at exactly the right time is all you need to one-shot anyone. Just then, a screen pops up congratulating him for clearing the fortress, rubbing his hands together, totally pumped. The kid can barely wait to see what kind of loot he just scored. The celebration gets cut short by the healer, who walks up to him asking for a quick chat. The MC just turns his head, totally out of patience for this bad acting. The girl actually has the nerve to ask for a cut of the loot, claiming she helped out in the fight. She uses the 2 defeated shooters as an excuse to demand her share. Turning his back on the pure nonsense, the hero tells her she should be thankful he's not paying her back for backstabbing him earlier. He coldly warns her that there's a limit to being this shameless. Terrified by his threatening tone, the traitor stutters and drops the whole thing instantly. She nods and tries to sneak away quietly, with the silent rug trailing behind her. But before the cowardly duo can get away, the soldier's voice echoes, freezing them in place. He strictly orders them to stop exactly where they are, sweating bullets. The healer tries to hide behind the game's official rules. She panics and warns him that attacking rovers means instant jail time. The kid just sighs, reminding them they'd be hanging out in the lobby right now, if it wasn't for him. He demands that they at least show some proper gratitude to the guy who saved their sorry lives. Shaking with fear, the two traitors bow super fast in a totally embarrassing apology. They cry and thank him for the save as reality finally hits them. With the drama finally settled, the kid casually sheathes his fancy weapon. Silence takes over the ruined village again after the cowards bolt. The reward system boots up, offering him a choice of 3 different prizes. Surprised. The hero figures that the higher difficulty of this dungeon bumped up the number of options. Floating right in front of him are these glowing, colored magic orbs showing off some insane skills of different types. The massive menu totally blows the kid's mind with all the choices. Grabbing a glowing purple orb, the MC is absolutely hyped about his own RNG luck. He excitedly says he hit the jackpot finding a super rare skill book. The system details that this new passive lets him train while he sleeps, massively boosting his power. To make it even more broken, the buffs are multiplied for his specific class. Looking at the perks, he realizes he's going to scale way faster than any regular player. Plus, he knows this speed running method perfectly fits his playstyle. Remembering how he had to dodge that colossal monster earlier, he doesn't even think twice. He locks in the bonus speed skill to help him outplay future problems. Next up, he picks out a unique sniper skill with the obvious goal of selling it. The kid figures this item should fetch enough cash to wipe out his entire debt. As he absorbs the rewards, a crazy strong magical vibe wraps around his body in a whirlwind of power. Confident as ever, he realizes these god-tier skills could literally change the whole world. With his eyes fixed on the future, the hero makes a rock-solid promise for his new journey. He swears he's going to clear out all the top-tier loot these dungeons have to offer. Totally riding the hype train, the kid's ambition levels up. Just knowing he has the tools to completely dominate this new world has him feeling unstoppable. Now back in the crowded streets of the city, the main plan pops back into his head. Pulling out his phone, he decides to check the current market prices for rare drops. The app shows bidding wars hitting crazy high numbers in no time. Being smart about trades, he plans to set a tempting starting price to force the bids way up. Out of nowhere, a notification sound grabs his attention for an instant by offer on the app. He's totally shocked by how insanely fast people want ranged skills. Knowing the numbers, he calculates that by tomorrow, the total will easily cross the 1,200,000 mark. Happy with the quick flip, the kid closes the deal and locks it in. Walking chill down an empty alley in the afternoon, his next moves are already mapped out. The soldier decides to focus on testing out his nighttime leveling skill back at his place. Hours later, nighttime finally drops over the outer district, lighting up the old buildings. Silence takes over the area as the locals lock up and stay safe inside. Inside his basic-looking room, the kid is already totally knocked out on his bed after an insanely heavy day. The phone left on the floor is the only thing barely lighting up the dark room. While he's in deep sleep, the system registers the perfect condition and triggers the unique skill. A pop-up alerts him that training in the dreamscape has officially started. His mind gets pulled into an endless white void with no borders in sight. The kid checks out the absolute nothingness, judging the training room as being pretty boring. On fake ground, he realizes the lack of distractions actually sharpens his senses big time. Crazy enough, his real-world body feels exactly the same as his dream avatar. Suddenly a creepy shadow figure spawns dangerously close right behind him. The hero spins around with a jump, loudly asking who has the nerve to hack into his sleep. A floating screen drops a direct order to eliminate the mystery target right then and there. Drawing his sword fast, the soldier gets into a fighting stance against the threat. Not wasting a second, the shadow enemy jumps into the air with terrifying speed, winding up an attack. The MC ducks smoothly, checking out the enemy's strike up close. Both blades clash super hard, throwing off a shower of bright sparks. The impact instantly proves that this dummy isn't here to play around. Using pure raw strength, the kid pushes back the pressure of the enemy blade, shoving the target away. The solid block shows off the early perks of his combat class. With his guard up, he cracks a smile, acknowledging the mental challenge the system threw at him. The soldier figures this simulation is incredibly fun and the perfect way to test his limits. With a lightning-fast counter, he rushes in, slicing the air and landing a clean hit on the attacker. The shadow is cut in half instantly thanks to the crazy speed of the move. Watching the defeated target, he gets the basic logic of this insane training. The guy realizes the only real way to level up here is by constantly breaking his own records. But ignoring his thoughts, the system spawns multiple shadow clones all over the place at once. Real orders pop up on the screen demanding immediate action against the new targets. In a matter of seconds, dozens of enemies surround the MC from every side in the white void. The solo training session just turned into an absolute battle for survival.